Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we bring you a developing story that's shaking the foundation of the NBA and sending shockwaves all the way from Milwaukee to the Bay Area. The Golden State Warriors, a franchise built on precision, dynasty, and dramatic reinvention, may be setting their sights on a seismic move that could redefine the future of the league. And it all begins with heartbreak. Damian Lillard. A name that once inspired hope, fire, and clutch heroics. But this postseason, that flame has been cruelly extinguished. In Game 4 of the first-round playoff series against the Indiana Pacers, Lillard suffered a devastating torn Achilles tendon in his left leg. The same leg that once carried him through game winners from half-court. The same leg that symbolized resilience. And now, it's the same leg that may signal the end of Milwaukee's championship hopes, not just for this year, but for years to come. He's out. Done. Gone for the rest of the playoffs. And with him may go the last embers of the Bucks' once bright title window. Let's rewind for a moment. The Milwaukee Bucks entered this season with sky-high expectations. They had Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, the face of loyalty, and arguably the most dominant force in the game today. And in a bold, franchise-defining move, they traded Drew Holiday and a slew of future draft picks for Damian Lillard, hoping to create an unstoppable duo that would keep Giannis happy, and in Milwaukee. The message was loud and clear: we're all in. But what followed was anything but a fairy tale. The chaos began early. Assistant coach Terry Stotts, a veteran mind brought in to help guide the team, abruptly stepped down just days into the season. Head coach Adrian Griffin was dismissed mid-season. And in came Doc Rivers. A big name. A proven winner. A man expected to steady the ship. But instead of stability, more questions arose. Doc made headlines not for wins, but for words. In public interviews, he openly questioned his own decision to take the job. He shifted blame. He second-guessed himself. And the team? They spiraled. Despite having Giannis and Lillard, the Bucks hovered in mediocrity. Ranked in the middle of the league in both offense and defense. Kyle Kuzma, brought in to replace a declining Chris Middleton, fell flat in the playoffs. The chemistry never clicked. The plan never gelled. Then came the blood clot scare for Lillard. He returned too soon, driven by heart and hunger. But fate had other plans. That Achilles injury, it wasn't just physical. It was symbolic. Because now the Bucks are broken. Spiritually. Strategically. And perhaps permanently. Let's talk about the numbers, because numbers don't lie. In this postseason before his injury, Damian Lillard averaged 25.2 points, 5.1 assists, and 3.5 rebounds per game. He was giving everything he had. But when your body gives out, your stats become history. Giannis? He's been sidelined too, struggling with injuries. But when he played, he was dominant. 30.4 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 6.3 assists per game in the regular season. A monster. A warrior. But even a Greek freak needs help. And now, he's looking around, and seeing a collapsing empire. You could see it in that viral clip. Giannis sitting on the bench. His eyes vacant. His mind far away. That wasn't a man thinking about next season. That was a man thinking about legacy, about loyalty, about whether his time in Milwaukee has reached its end. Which brings us to the twist in this story. The Golden State Warriors. A team that knows all too well about rising, falling, and rising again. The Warriors are no strangers to big moves. They drafted Steph Curry, built a dynasty, welcomed Kevin Durant, then rebuilt again after injuries and setbacks. They've always found a way. And now, with Draymond Green aging, Klay Thompson approaching free agency, and the need for a new superstar to carry the torch after Steph, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Because what if, just what if? Giannis is the next chapter. Insiders are whispering. Front offices are watching. The Warriors have young assets like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski. They have expiring contracts. They have picks. They have the infrastructure. And they have the need. Imagine it. A lineup with Steph Curry, the wizard from beyond the arc, averaging 26.4 points per game this season. A man still defying age and gravity. Paired with Giannis, the unstoppable force in the paint. A pick and roll that would terrify any defense. A fast break that turns into a nightmare. The Warriors are built on ball movement, IQ, and speed. Giannis adds power, dominance, and relentless aggression. It's a match made in basketball heaven. And here's the motivator: this isn't just about basketball. This is about redemption. Giannis has given everything to Milwaukee. A championship. Loyalty. Years of MVP-level play. But the front office gambled his future on a now broken Lillard. They have no draft control until 2031. Their cap space is gone. Their window is shut. If Giannis stays, he's staying for a rebuild. For years of mediocrity. For questions with no answers. But if he leaves, he takes control of his story. He writes the next chapter, not as the loyal soldier, but as the wise king. Think of LeBron leaving Cleveland. Think of Durant leaving OKC. These were painful exits, but they led to greatness. And if Giannis joins the Warriors, he's not ring-chasing, he's legacy-building. He's partnering with a franchise that knows how to win. That still believes in excellence. That still has a culture. And he wouldn't be alone. He'd be joining Warriors in every sense of the word. Steph. Kuminga, who posted 16.1 points per game this season and showed flashes of stardom. Draymond, still a defensive savant. Kevin Looney, the unsung hero. Chris Paul, the floor general if retained. And maybe even Jimmy Butler. Yes, his name has come up in Bay Area circles. This wouldn't just be a team, it would be a mission. And that's the spark of motivation here, for every athlete, fan, or dreamer watching. Sometimes, loyalty is noble. But reinvention is necessary. Sometimes, staying feels right, but leaving is how you grow. Giannis leaving Milwaukee isn't betrayal. It's evolution. And Golden State? They're ready. They're watching. They're waiting. They've done it before. They brought in Durant and changed the course of NBA history. They know how to welcome a superstar and make it work. The question isn't should Giannis leave. It's when. Because this Bucks team is collapsing. The Lillard trade was supposed to be salvation, it became a setback. That Supermax contract. It's now an anchor. Lillard will be 36 when it ends. No team will touch it. And Giannis knows it. So what now? The Bucks can't rebuild without assets. They can't compete without Giannis. And Giannis can't wait forever. If they're smart, they'll trade him this offseason. Not out of spite, but out of respect. Give him a chance to chase greatness. Get back assets. Begin again. And if they do, don't be surprised if the Bay Area becomes his next home. Because behind the scenes, Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. is working. Joe Lacob is watching. Steph Curry is still leading. And the next dynasty? It's just one trade away. Giannis to Golden State. A storyline filled with pain, hope, and redemption. A new beginning built on the ashes of a Milwaukee meltdown. So if you're watching tonight from home, remember this. Life isn't just about staying loyal to the past. It's about having the courage to chase the future. Giannis Antetokounmpo has always been a fighter. A believer. A dreamer. And sometimes, warriors need to find other warriors to rise again. This is not the end of a story. This is the beginning of something legendary. Stay tuned. And here's the key takeaway from the channel. Delve into financial education to enhance your quality of life. Within the financial market, explore bonds and shares, particularly focusing on real estate investment trusts, which offer the potential for passive income. Engage with this responsibly and consider reputable investment brokerages worldwide.